Welcome to the POMcast with Steve Willis, your independent, unbiased, and unbought source for Ole Miss athletics. Good morning, good morning, good morning. October 27th, 2020, Tuesday. Ole Miss versus Vanderbilt in Nashville, 3 o'clock Saturday. It's going to be a good one, I think. We're looking at the weather. It looks like currently 64 degrees as high. That'll be around kickoff at 3 o'clock with a low of 43 degrees. So as it gets darker, it's going to get a little more chilly. 10% chance of rain, winds out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. So that is pretty fantastic. We got great weather. We got Vandy. Hopefully their COVID situation is taken care of and they are ready to join with us in the future. Anyway, of course, you can follow us at the Stephen Willis on Twitter or at Ole Positively. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/POMcast or join our Facebook group, Positively Ole Miss. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell, Positively Ole Miss. If you hit the bell, you get notified when we go live. We're not going live right now, but we're going to go live, so please hit the bell. And, of course, you can join us on Twitch at Positively Ole Miss, all one word. Whenever we do this, in a few months, it's all going to come around and all these video apps are going to make more sense because right now it's just a title slide telling you how to follow the podcast. It's going to get much better. We're pretty excited about it. And if audio is your thing, and right now that makes all the sense in the world, you can follow us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. You can subscribe to those podcasts, have them downloaded, and be ready whenever you are. Also, you can leave a rating. Just do a 5-star rating for us. You can write whatever you want. That'd be great. And that way, it becomes a little bit more searchable. That's the reason people ask you to leave a 5-star rating, is because the more of those you get, the higher comes up when you search Ole Miss. Their podcast will come up. So, we're trying to increase this algorithm and provide free information for people, so please do that as well. So not much happened yesterday except for the SEC agreed that they screwed up the call that led to Auburn winning the game, and they fined Lane Kiffin $25,000 basically for pointing out exactly what they admitted to. And he's obviously very upset. He's very petulant at the moment. So I don't think we need to encourage this. It's pretty self-destructive behavior. But it is absolutely true as well. It's one of those situations where unfair things happen to people, and there's no recourse. And that's kind of what's going on right now with this. Again, Ole Miss and Vandy in Nashville at 3 o'clock Saturday on the SEC Network. Ole Miss is averaging 34 points a game, Vanderbilt 8. Ole Miss is allowing 44 points a game, Vanderbilt 33. Ole Miss is gaining 521 yards. Vandy is getting 256. Ole Miss is passing for 300 yards and Vandy for 145, although that 300 yards is kind of fool's gold. Ole Miss is rushing for 220. Now that's accurate. Vandy 111 and Ole Miss is allowing 556, Vandy 451. Giving up 300 yards a game passing, Vandy 240. Giving up 256 rushing, Vandy 211. See, the problem is with this. Vandy hasn't played in 3 weeks. They got back-to-back bye weeks. And in doing so, they had time to get Ken Seals reps, who's a freshman quarterback. He's 48 of 78 on the year. He's thrown for 411 in 3 games, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But he's a true freshman quarterback. They don't have the running back that they had last year. Their leading rusher is Marlowe, who has rushed 33 times for 148 yards, and their second rusher is Wakefield, 37 carries, 116 yards. Nobody is just blowing it out of the water rushing-wise. Receiving, the same thing. You have to go all the way to Jonathan Mingo to hit their leading receiver, who is their tight end. He has 11 catches for 97 yards. So this is kind of interesting. Now, the offense, with the exception of Kenny Yeboah, is morphing into exactly what Rich Rod did. Everybody talked about the scheme of Rich Rod. This offense is morphing into exactly that. Elijah Moore has 47 catches for 591. Yeboah has 19 for 438. Jonathan Mingo then 13 for 188. And then the next receiver has 7. Next receiver has 9. Next receiver has 6. It's starting to look like a signal caller thing, potentially, and not a system thing. Somebody, it appears, is over-reliant on Elijah Moore, and he has thrown several interceptions trying to force the ball to Elijah Moore instead of us doing his normal progression. But that's a big discrepancy between the leading receiver and the second leading receiver. That's not good. 47 for 591, that's fantastic. Elijah Moore is a heck of a player. But it's got to happen in the frame of the offense, unfortunately. And also at this point, he is not a jet sweep guy, Elijah Moore. He's more of an outside receiver, but they use him in the slot. I don't know what to say. We potentially have a problem with that position. We'll find out this weekend. Come up in segment 2, we're going to talk about $25,000 in pennies. Stick around.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
All right, welcome back to the POMcast. I'm Steve Willis. Always glad to have you join us. Yesterday, Lane Kiffin was fined $25,000 by the SEC. And like I said earlier, he's kind of gone on a petulant, not necessarily a rampage, but he's using social media to be funny. So he got up on social media asking, "Could I turn in 25,000 pennies?" And he obviously, made a mistake, mathed it up, and then he said, "I was just seeing if they would stop and review it to get the right call. Well done, SEC." And that was quite hilarious. That was quite funny because when Lane Kiffin does that, it said was just checking to see if the SEC would review my math to get it right this time. After future review, it's 2.5 million pennies. Thanks for stopping to get it right. Thumbs up, money bag, fire. It's one of those situations where everybody is on Lane Kiffin's side. The Oxford Police Department did a hilarious thing telling, "Hey, Lane Kiffin, if you need an escort from the bank, let us know," and just had the dropping of pennies onto the ground. Lane Kiffin apologized to his son, Knox, saying his college fund is gone over this. It's funny. Brett McMurphy comes up with SEC fines Lane Kiffin $25,000 for tweeting about officiating, but league admits it should have stopped the game to further review a fourth quarter kickoff that apparently bounced off an Auburn player, which Ole Miss recovered and would have likely led to an Ole Miss victory. And there's also a Finding Nemo thing where all the three teams that the SEC messed over, Kentucky at Arkansas and Ole Miss fans, just talking. It's all funny. It's all in fun and games, and it's it's something that is going to be funny. I'm just looking through Twitter. There's pictures of a penny with Lane Kiffin on it. It's good stuff, There's a T-shirt out there of blind SEC refs with a cane. And hopefully now, if we're going to be serious about this is the point where Lane Kiffin needs to stop. This is the point where Lane Kiffin needs to stop. There's a fine line between where he's at and being just an antagonist. And he really needs to stop. He did the same thing at FAU where he did the 3 blind mice officials after a game. So this is in his playbook. But he says fans deserve to hear what I was just told. He says he can't share it, though, per SEC rules, in a call with the SEC officiating people. But that's Lane Kiffin. That's part of the experience. He's very good on social media. So enjoy that, but please don't go too far with it. Now, as a fan, you can go as far as you want to. If you want to retweet at SEC officials, you can. SEC officiating, at SEC officiating is the Twitter handle. If you want to tweet to that, there's really nothing they can do. And it's starting to trend a little bit on social media. Yeah. So Yeah, the one thing is, Lane Kiffin, you were wrong. SEC, we were wrong. Lane Kiffin, thanks. SEC, here's a $25,000 fine. The protection of officials that we think we're entitled to do is weird. I mean, we expect players to take criticism for not getting their job done correctly, and other players to get criticism for not doing their job correctly. But the officiating somehow is off limits. Why? Why? If they don't do their job correctly, they should be criticized as much as the person on either team. They're not above it. And also, let's be real about this. People are officiating because they're not good enough to play, but love the game. Give them that experience. Give them that pressure to get it right, especially with instant replay. Jesus Christ, to get something that wrong 3 times in a season at the benefit of one team with instant replay available, it almost looks like something else is happening. I mean, I made the joke after the game. Does the SEC owe Auburn money? I mean, it's bizarre. I mean, it's just really weird. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Lane Kiffin sent a tweet, got fined for the tweet. He was right in the tweet. They admitted he was right in the tweet. Still got fined for the tweet. And now everybody else is seeing that and piling on the SEC officiating app, who is trying to be more, having a Twitter handle because they're trying to be more transparent. Well, be more transparent by answering questions after the game and taking responsibility. Don't try to be anonymous bots out there. Be real. Be a person. A person makes mistakes. But not as often because you have instant replay now. It's 3 games this season. Auburn easily could be 0-5. Think about that. They're 3-2. All of their wins are officiating aided. But the benefit is, Auburn fans, you'll get to keep your coach another year. 0-5 would probably give you cover enough to firing for everybody that's been getting a yearly hot seat for Gus Malzahn. 0-5 would have kind of done the trick. Maybe the SEC wants to keep him around for Alabama. Maybe Nick Saban wants to hold on to him. Maybe they're trying to actually hurt Auburn football. Maybe they have something against Auburn. Who knows? But at 0-5, they would have cover to fire their coach. At 3-2, they do not. And if he looks up and wins again this weekend, at 4-2, they definitely don't. You're stuck with him for another year or two. Could have been 0-5, and it would have been all over. But have fun, Auburn. Definitely have fun. Enjoy it. I'll be rooting for you this weekend to get an officiated, aided victory. Officials aided victory against LSU. I never root for LSU, so. So that's the way it works. That's the way things go. I just don't know. This whole thing makes me so upset. It's kind of hard to talk about. I can handle an official making a mistake. I cannot handle pointing out that, punishing the person pointing out that official made a mistake. And that official should be banned from ever working another Ole Miss game. Ever. I mean, that's just the way it works. I'm just aggravated over this, and the more that I think about it, the more aggravated I get. I'm going to take the break to basically get back to zero, because this is just making me so upset. Because it makes no sense. It could make sense. You could just say, hey, the official made a mistake. I'm sorry. And the official should be able to take the criticism, because he signed up for it. This job is a want to thing. Nobody is forcing him to do it. There's no sense protecting them like this, especially when games are being cost. Anyway, Stephen Willis, POMcast. Hopefully I'll be normal whenever I come back.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already! Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive. A message from Florida's trusted choice independent insurance agents.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis. I just want you to stick around a little longer. We're going to get back to the podcast right after these messages.
Tonight, nearly 40,000 veterans across the country are homeless. These men and women have pledged to serve our nation, and now we must serve them. Landlords across the country have helped make significant progress in reducing veteran homelessness by making housing available, but there is more that we can do to bring our veterans home. Visit www.va.gov/homeless to see how you can get involved. And if you are a veteran and you are experiencing homelessness, please call 877-4AID-VET. Thank you.
All right, POMcast, Stephen Willis coming at you for the last segment of the day. Hope you're having a good day. I really am. This Tuesday, October 27th, Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, Nashville, Tennessee, 3 o'clock. SEC Network coming at you. Yeah. Anyway, we've talked over and over about the Auburn game and the fine and the aftermath and the officials and all that. And we just need to, not do that. Because there's no sense in letting it beat you twice. Did everybody see DK Metcalf's play Sunday night? Involved a 95-yard sprint to catch a surefire touchdown before he got into the end zone, and Arizona got no points on that. Just saved points. It was an unbelievable hustle play. It looked like the Terminator whenever he's running and striding out. That's what it looked like. And, even whenever he was 3 or 4 yards away, you're like, oh, no, this dude ain't going to make it to the end zone. He has too far to go. This like DK, he's on it. And he caught him. It was fantastic. That was pretty great. That also cost me points because I have Arizona's defense in fantasy football. But I am 6-1 and won the game. And if anybody is looking for any strategies for fantasy football that's a little bit different than what everybody else is doing, let me know. Because systems, when it comes to systems, you can do that in any sport, in anything that you do. You can do it slightly different. Different things can make more sense to you. People think, like I have never gotten above a C- in draft. And I've won 3 out of the 4 last fantasy leagues. And that's because of the way that I do it. I don't do it like everybody else does. Whenever I'm reaching for a running back, yeah, I'm reaching based off of your system that you have in place that everybody is rated on. But this guy fits me more. And I want to make sure I get this guy, which I want if I draft him when everybody says you should. So basically, in fantasy football, everybody is trying to draft the same players because they have the same list and they're built off the same thing. But there's a system that can be built that still provides massive amount of points. And I've built this over 15 years. And now it's just, in the age that the NFL is diversifying, fantasy football is yet to catch up. So if you are an early adapter of this system, there's a way for you to rack up points. You get the dual threat quarterback. You get the running back that's also a receiving threat. You get the, basically, any player that gets drafted has to be able to score me decent amount of points in multiple ways. You don't just draft a running back because he's a running back. You draft a running back because he's also a receiver. You get a tight end like Trey Burton in my system. When he plays Wildcat quarterback, he's also a running threat. He's a dual threat player, so he's on my roster. Everything is a dual threat, and you have to be able to get points in different ways. That's the way I do this. And it's unbelievably successful at this point. I mean, like 3 out of the last 4 championships, and the only year I didn't was last year, and I didn't play because of my surgery. So everybody else being slow to adopt and to do things a certain way is at their detriment. So that's the way you can win your fantasy football league moving forward. It's working. And everybody hates my team. They don't understand why they're losing to my team. And I got a C- grade from Yahoo Drafting. Oh. It just goes down to every player is a system player. Everybody has a system. Now, whether your system is conventional, like 95% of other people, or a little bit different, everybody has a system. Every player is a system player. And this goes back to college football as well. And this also goes back to recruiting rankings and shows that I live this way outside of recruiting rankings when I say it. Everybody is a system player. And that system determines how a player is ranked. Not the player. The player has to fit what they're doing. They can't. And all of a sudden you have a 3-star player that can go somewhere and be a 4+ star talent. But he's rated as a 3-star player because they are either doing this in one system as the baseline, which is the only way you can do it. Let's grab all these different players and put them in one system. That's how we can rate them. Or we can just do it off combine measurables. Either way, players are system players, and you should not pay too much attention to recruiting rankings. That's the facts. All right, Stephen Willis, POMcast, right here on Positively Ole Miss. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.